All right, here we are in Florida. We got this load delivered, obviously, because there's nothing on the back of the truck. Can't pick up the next load until 7-ish tomorrow afternoon, which is convenient because Jason drove all day today, ran out his whole 11, so I'll have a fresh reset tomorrow, right before that load is available and ready to go. So that's kind of beneficial, and there's a reason that's beneficial, and we'll get to that probably in the next video clip, not so much tonight. Right now, what I wanted to talk about is, like I said, I wanted to give a little bit of credit where credit is due. That guy that did the mechanic work on the Streetwalker, outstanding guy to work with, certified, trained, master tech, knows his craft very well, and was very flexible on timelines, was very, very helpful as far as, hey, this is what I've got going on, this is my timeline, these are the things that I've got to do, understanding that I'm an over-the-road driver. And I kind of talked to him a little bit about, like I said, putting him in here, giving him a little bit of a shout out for what he did. Great prices, great work. I have less than zero things bad to say about him. If I ever end up doing the diesel truck thing again, I will definitely keep this guy in mind. So his shop is Steel Services. It's just outside of Boise, a little town called Eagle. It's like I think it's like a 20-minute drive from my house, which is convenient for those of you that are in RV transport, because as you know, I live like 4 or 5 miles away from Horizon's yard there in Nampa, Idaho. Indiana Transport has a yard. I think Synergy has a yard. I'm not positive. On top of all of them having those yards just inside Oregon, in LeGrand and Pendleton, right? And then there's also yards out in East Idaho. So this dude's well planted right in the middle of all the hubs for the major RV transport companies. So I wanted to shout him out here. Like I said, Steel Services. Here's all of his contact information. And if you need some work done, he's the guy that I can't say enough good things. I am ecstatic and blown away at the way this guy was so accommodating and fair priced and very professional. If I ever end up back in the diesel truck game, I will absolutely go back to him. Now, with that being said, I think I'm gonna get back in the truck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Morning. Just finishing up the pre-trip, just about to start the truck up and do the last bits of the check with the engine running. Got everything done with before. Walking around checking all the lights, checking the trailer, making sure everything's good. We're in North Carolina. Take a little bit of time here. Made it all the way up here. We're just outside of Lumberton, North Carolina, which isn't bad. Google said I went 680 something miles yesterday. Not a bad day. Jason's back home doing the family thing, keeping the truck loaded very well. Just got off the phone with him right before I started the pre-trip, and we've got several loads booked out. all stacked up. 0 deadhead. I think one load has a few miles of deadhead, which, in all honesty, we ran all last week with a total of, I think, 29 miles of deadhead, and we'll have almost none on this whole cycle as well. So that's good. Keeping the truck running and keeping the truck running loaded. That's the important thing, especially with today's fuel prices. It's painful. It's really painful. And no more mean tweets, though. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the truck up, finish up this pre-trip. It's time for me to get on the road, and I will see you guys somewhere later. This is the first time I've ever sat in Mississippi, I think. Weather's not bad, not too humid, a little bit. I think I found a part of the South I could actually live in. I'm on Highway 98. I just came out of Mobile, Alabama, cut up northwest out of there, and Alabama's 4 miles that way. Did want to touch on something that I've been asked a few times, and figured that it should be shared. It's not it's fairly common knowledge, but maybe not. So when I first left RVs and came to this, I had an air brake restriction on my license because the Streetwalker didn't have air brakes. So that meant that I only had enough time to get my permit for air brakes. I did not have time to actually test out because they're booked out like a month. And when the Streetwalker went down to when I jumped in this with Jason, was like 4 days. So what does that mean? Well, that means that for the first 2 months that we were doing this, I was on a permit, which meant Jason had to be sitting in the passenger seat. So we could only operate the truck for 14 hours a day in the beginning, just because he had to be in the seat by law because I had a permit. Didn't matter that I've got roughly 40,000 miles with air brake vehicles. They hadn't given me my permit. It was all military stuff, field ops deployments, that kind of thing. But I only had my permit, so Jason had to sit there, which meant that we could only operate under the 14-hour clock rule, and we had to shut down for 10. So it was rough going in the beginning. Now that I've got my full air brake permit, or air brake endorsement, it's going a lot better. We're pushing a little bit more miles. We're still not doing the non-stop like you could. You know, he does his 11, I do mine. He does his, I do mine. We still shut down for a few hours in between, about a 4-hour break. It's just kind of the rhythm we found, 4 to 5 hours. So he'll lay down for the last couple hours of my shift for like 3, and then we shut the truck down for 4 to 5 hours, and then I sleep for the first 2 or 3 when he starts his day, and then just kind of hang out, keep each other company, keep things moving, yada yada yada. Anyway, I wanted to touch on that real quick. I've been asked that quite a few times. So here's that, and now we're continuing west, and I'll see you guys in Texas. All right, so here we are parked. I'm just outside of San Antonio, right? Yeah, Austin. I don't know, down in that area in Texas. Had a really good day today. Was a little bit late on the delivery that I had, which is fine. It was supposed to be delivered tomorrow night, and I rolled in there, a little bit of sweet talking, and they decided that they were going to go ahead and and unload me right then. So that was awesome. Got that done. And Jason found me another load that went down to South Texas from the Dallas area where we dropped that, or I dropped that. And he's currently trying to find me one to get back up. If not, I'll just deadhead. It's only like 4.5 hours. But really good rate per mile on this one. Go down, get it delivered tomorrow morning. But this one was supposed to be a live load for tonight. Showed up and it's already loaded, its own trailer, ready to go. Just had to hook and run. So had 2 turn out really well. Now if we can get that load back up, that'll be 3, and I'll call that good. And now we just wait and pick up the next one. So let's hope that this luck streak continues and we can get one more good load in on this cycle. And got one more topic for this video, but I'm dead tired. I got to get up in 6 hours and drive all the rest of the way down to San Antonio and then back up to Dallas and then start my reset, because I should roll into Dallas with less than an hour left on my cycle. So yay. And I got one more topic for this video, and we'll go over this whole run. And yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Alright, so here, knocking out my reset. Tomorrow, picking up the next load, and it's going to go into California. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, well, first off, we didn't get that awesome load back up, so I headed back up from San Antonio. It was only like 4 hours, not the end of the world. But the last thing I want to talk about is the main difference between being an owner-operator and a company driver. I guess technically I'm a company driver now. It's a weird dynamic, but we'll go with that. We'll call it that. So, going from being the owner-operator of owning my Ford and operating it myself, there's some good and bad about both ways. So, for example, now I am not in charge of the loads. I mean, with the setup I'm in, I have input, but typically, as a company guy, they pretty well tell you where to go. You might get a little bit of, hey, I want this or I want that, but you're gonna do what you're told. Whereas when I was with Horizon, it was 100% on me. No forced dispatch. Once in a while they would, hey, could you do this for us? But there was absolutely not forced. You did what you wanted. So that's nice. I am now no longer responsible for a truck payment, truck insurance. I'm not responsible for the fuel on the truck. Really, I got no responsibilities. I get in, I turn the key, I drive the truck. Now, because of my personality and the way I am and whatnot, I help Jason out. A, I consider him a really good friend, not just the boss. And B, I happen to enjoy working on things. I've watched him from the beginning with this truck, so I want to see the truck succeed and go on, so I like taking care of it. So I don't have any responsibilities with the truck, but I choose to. I like to. I want to make sure everything is just right. Now, the downside to that, with the whole not having any responsibility, is now I'm getting a lot smaller cut of the pay. If I had my own truck and I was owner-operator doing exactly the same thing that we're doing right now, I'd probably make a lot more money than I am right now. But with that being said, in this new setup where I'm getting a much smaller percentage of the load, because I'm not paying for anything. What comes in is 100% profit. I have no overhead. So, with that being said, like I said, I have a smaller percentage, but with that smaller percentage, I'm still taking home more than I was taking home doing RVs. Not by much. yeah, not a whole lot more than I was, but it's definitely more. And I've got no frets, no worries, no overhead, no concern. I just drive the truck and I get paid. So, there's good and bad to both sides. Is owner-operator better? Is company driver better? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I like where this is going, and we might see what the future holds. With that, as always, those of you on the roads, I wish you fair winds and following seas. Take care, and have a great day.